That's great.
Speaking of football, I know you're whining this week about Alabama and Boise State.
Exactly.
Well,
when you lose a game,
you haven't worn the first shirt I gave you, so
I'm going to.
I got it.
Early in the 20th century, Alabama Joe's alma mater made a trip through New England to play baseball, and they made a mistake. They came to Williamstown and they lost 8-3. So when I went to interview Mika,
T-shirt to prove it.
Yeah. Well, now you have another one.
Okay.
And I know it's hard for you to accept how great Williams is, but it'll be easier tomorrow when you wake up.
Okay.
So this one is for you.
Okay.
Isn't that nice?
And nobody else will wear it for sure.
Turn it around. Yeah, buddy. That's great. I love it.
I want to take him to Chapin Hall. It's my favorite.
It's my favorite too.
Yeah. I don't know the whole time.
There's a Berkshire Symphony Orchestra
I know.
rehearsal.
That's what I wanted to see.
We gotta step in and look at it now.
Well, promise me you'll come back.
Oh, we will.
And really, you're going to bring him back and really see
Maybe
it?
graduation.
I'll tell you, would love to come back and spend more time and also go into some classes. And
Really nice to kind of host you here and let you get a real feel for the place.
we would love
You'd
it.
see it's a marvelous place.
Oh, I have heard nothing but remarkable things.
It's an old dirt road.
I love that. So we need people literally to spell things out for us.
Yeah.
You need to be here in the green room. There's nowhere else you need to be.
When do you get to sleep today?
In the spirit of Jon Stewart's rally this weekend, I wouldn't say fear, but I would say that younger Americans have a lot to be very nervous Americans to go out and vote and make sure that we don't keep hearing the same thing every 2 years, that the most engaged voters are voters 65.
You don't even know who you're voting for. I think the Latino dialogue in the schools has a basin. It's been backed up by a media that has ratcheted up.
First time in 150 years, I think the two-party system, I think the monopoly is going to be broken up. You're going to see more independent candidates getting elected over the next few years. I think you're going to see an independent presidential candidate.
You do a show almost every day. Do you guys look forward, has this date been on your calendar for 6 months? I hate to ask a sort of business question, but how important is it, this sort of general...
This election tonight?
This election.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Whatever you guys want.
Staff at the 62 Center. Dick Quinn, Carrie Green. Students, I really have to thank Will Slack and Will Pearson for the great job.
This is the furthest I've been from a newsroom on an election night since I staggered out of this place back in 1990. And I staggered. But it's good to be here. It's actually good to be away from all the noise. I want to thank James McAllister so much for the introduction. President Falk, who is at another engagement, but we met earlier, for having us here. And Dick Quinn. Do you all know Dick Quinn? Who doesn't know Dick Quinn, right? And if you don't have a Mr. Quinn in your life, you are seriously lacking. So our thanks to Dick Quinn for making this happen. I text messaged him, and within hours, this event was launched. Carrie Green, is she here? Carrie? Carrie carries the world on her shoulders, your world.
Yes, my name is Pete Skipper. I'm actually the president of the College Democrats here.
Let's give this young man a hand. It takes courage. You come out. It's the courage of your conviction. It's like running the Republican Party in Berkeley. So we can use
Yeah, well, first, I would just like to say, we talked a lot about this third-party candidate. I'd be interested to hear what your plans are for 2016. But my actual question...
I might be running for my second term. I don't know.
If Republicans gain the House, and the Pentagon survey in December comes out kind of pro-don't ask, don't tell repeal, and if the Democrats don't shove through repeal during the lame duck session, do you think the Republicans might even begrudgingly support a repeal of don't ask, don't tell?
I don't know that a lot of Republicans will. Let me tell you, though, the difference between 1994 and now. In 1994, this would be what they did.
Hi, I'm Miles. I'm a freshman. I'm Miles. I'm a freshman, and actually it's sort of timely with Rand Paul just now. I was hoping you could talk a little bit about these
minority kind of, quote unquote, fringe candidates.
Right.
Maybe on the one hand, energizing the base, on the other hand, scaring off more independent voters.
Right.
Just what's your take on that whole situation?
Well, it depends.
Your name?
My name is Chi Tagami. I'm a sophomore and the co-founder of Students for a Just and Stable Future at Williams. My question is, given that Congress is unable to pass significant climate change legislation with a Democratic majority and a Democratic president, how can you envision significant climate change legislation passing if the Republicans take the House as they are expected to?
It's not going to. Something interesting has happened here on the climate.
My name is Max Henniger. I'm a freshman at Williams, and I lived in Oswego, Oregon before I came here. And my question for you is, in this election cycle, many Republicans have rallied around Arizona's controversial new immigration law, SB 1070, despite the fact that it's been quite unpopular with Hispanic voters. So as a Republican, are you worried that your party might be alienating itself from America's fastest growing demographic?
I think that's a threat, a real risk for the Republican Party. I think immigration is another issue where you have two sides that have been shouting at each other for a very long time.
So in the 2008 election, we saw a few states that traditionally vote red sort of change and go blue for Obama. Most notably, most recognizably for me, my home state of North Carolina. A lot of people have been predicting that in this upcoming election tonight, that there are going to be a lot of changes. That those same states are going to change back to the thing they only changed 2 years ago. Is this type of intense, quick fluctuation a positive thing, or is this worrisome in terms of the views of the American public being so susceptible to influence by these ads, by these companies, by these campaigns?
Well, I think that there's no doubt about it. I think what happened is Republicans did such a bad job over the past 8 years that Democrats picked up seats in 2006 and in 2008.
Ian went. You're right.